we'll just jump into the intro, man.
I think so.
You know what I mean? 'Cause fuck it. Welcome everybody to the Kasson Avenue show. I just literally changed the title to Kasson Ave on the last one, so we're still working that out. Whatever. This is episode number 176, or in another sense, it's episode number 3 or 4, something like that. I'm your host Adam, here with my brother Osama. The dog is, of course, here. He just passed out, which luckily he's gotten into a lovely groove with just being like, fuck it, it's pod day, I'll go to sleep.
Press the button that makes the light red, he just drops down.
Yeah, it's like a dog whisperer in his camera or something. But welcome to the show. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and all the buttons that are associated with it. The reminder bell, the like button, the leave a comment.
The leave a comment button.
If you'd rather do an email, so it's incognito, go to the about section in our emails in there.
Messenger pigeon, floating bottle in the ocean, whatever you got to do to get across to us. You know,
message in a bottle.
Yeah, man,
it's a good song. The only reason why I really know that is Guitar Hero. You know.
Guitar Hero. Every time Adam says Guitar Hero, he goes, you
got an air guitar, you know? I forgot what show I was watching where they had like an air guitar competition and they were just they literally played along to it.
The only thing that reminds me of in The Office is when Will Ferrell had taken over when Steve Carell left.
He's doing
and he juggling. Did he's like, I'm a juggler, you know? And he's like,
Phyllis, do you trust me?
he forgot his balls. He didn't have his balls in the car, right? So he turned on music and he basically, what is it? What do they call it? Pantomime?
I guess
he pantomimed his
sounds like
performance.
Something else.
He basically juggled with no balls.
Yeah,
which was basically doing nothing. Which was hilarious. Which was funny.
It wasn't basically. It was exactly doing nothing.
It was. It was impressive. Nothing. I'd say that. You know, at the very least,
seems coordinated.
It looked like he was doing what he would normally do with balls.
There was some rhythm to the throwing and catching of the balls. So, balls.
Yeah, but no. That's what that made me think of.
Well, hey, happy Easter to anybody celebrating out there. It is indeed Easter Sunday today.
Hopefully, the Easter Bunny brought you. You know, it's.
I don't remember what this symbolizes. Listen, is it like the day that Jesus died? Is it his birthday? Is it the day he was supposedly resurrected? Like what?
I thought it had something to do with the bunny.
I was confused what Easter and Christmas.
I thought it was a rabbit's birthday.
The people across the street are doing Easter egg hunt, right? Like, so if you were like ever celebrated and you did Easter egg hunts as a kid, like they usually hide them and you go and look and it's like a seek and destroy type of thing. They literally just threw them all in the grass, like have at it.
Yeah, kids are stupid these days.
Yeah, but that's because of things like that. Well, let them like work a little bit for something.
I think evolution's kind of made them a little more dumb
because of the parents evolving into idiots.
How do you think a bunny or a rabbit got associated with Easter?
I don't know how eggs got associated.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know how the trend of like boiling eggs.
This is what leads me to believe it's all a cash grab. Pillsbury chocolate, you know, the Cadbury bunny. Yo, Cadbury eggs are fucking nasty. They got all this like.
That's why I
cum in them. It's like, what is this shit? Like you ever?
It's like real nasty gooiness inside.
You like it's like. You know, okay, so I'm not a jelly donut guy, none of that, but at least a jelly donut.
You don't like the cream filling?
No, none of that. No, thank you. Just give me a solid chocolate, whatever, and I'm happy. You know, like in a jelly donut, you bite it, and it's like it's filled with jelly. When you eat the Cadbury egg, if you open it, it's just like a puddle of like real sexual juice-esque type things at the bottom. And it's like, it's not filled. You can literally pour it and you got to wait for it to drip onto your, that's fucking nasty.
You really just like took eating a Cadbury egg to like the gayest level possible. You just open it and you just pour it and wait for it to come down.
I'm just explaining to you what is, no, I don't eat them. That's fucking nasty. But I'm saying
I opt for the
whoever
Reese's
created
egg.
Was the what?
The Reese's egg.
Yeah, but the like Reese's egg is actually...
Yeah, no, but that's why.
Here's what a Reese's egg is.
Luckily, they realized that, hey, nobody really wants this. So if we make everything else egg-shaped and call it an Easter candy, then you can just do it that way.
An Easter egg is like a hard-boiled egg. No, I'm sorry.
It's like a hidden surprise in like a movie or a TV show?
A Reese's egg is like a hard-boiled egg, right?
How did that come about? You know, they started calling Easter eggs like the hidden things in movies that you just notice if you're a fan.
All a cash grab. None of these holidays are real.
Yeah, the bunny part
You're
is
not
really
real,
weird.
man.
The bunny part is really weird. It's like, did Jesus like ride into the scene on a bunny? Is that how that happened? Like, I don't get it.
Everybody was just doing acid back then.
I think that's really
This
what the
actually
case was.
happened in 1832. Like this isn't even that old.
This all came from a book that was written by a man. Back
I
in
mean,
the day.
I've heard that there's a lot of like
it was all a DMT trip.
I heard that the story behind Santa Claus is even a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, it's closer to like the Krampus story than the St. Nicholas.
Dude, that shit is no. What's the name from Belschnickel from The Office? That's what.
Oh.
When they did what they do for Dwight's Christmas was when they made him Belschnickel.
I don't remember the specific name. I'd be lying if I did. If I said I did.
No, it's Belschnickel.
Sounds about right.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Everything associated with Dwight is just like weird shit.
Significance of the bunny significance of the Easter bunny. The exact origins of this mythical mammal. I hate how they've already started this. The mythical mammal are unclear, but rabbits, known to be prolific procreators because they fuck fast, are an ancient symbol of fertility.
To call somebody a prolific procreator is hilarious.
That's what you should call that if I was a porn name. And now the prolific procreator.
Sounds like a wrestler.
I come out like to a large pop, like breaking glass. Yeah. They said they are an ancient symbol of fertility and new life.
But what does that have? Oh, because of the resurrection.
Dude, that's nasty. So basically, they've associated rabbits to Jesus because rabbits make life like they're known to be called. There's a saying they fuck like rabbits. At that point, I think
feel
you
like
got to disconnect the two.
They should have made it fucking like sea turtles because apparently they fuck for 4 fucking hours. It's incredible. If you know anything about the movie.
I want to know who was in charge
Forgetting
of
Sarah
all
Marshall.
these decisions.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, happy prolific procreator day.
Yeah. Happy fucking like Jackrabbit days.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not 100% mad at all the traditions because as kids, you know, moms made sure she put together Easter basket for us. You know, we ate everything besides the jelly beans in there because does anybody really like
everything?
Jelly beans?
No, I don't eat Peeps.
Well, no, yeah, true.
I don't even know if I've even
marshmallows have barely any place for me
in life.
Yeah, there's only
You don't eat marshmallows?
like roasted marshmallows over a fire type of shit. Cool. S'mores. But that's like, it's very limited. I put it in my hot chocolate, you know.
I thought that's the only 3 things you did with marshmallows.
People really love marshmallows, man.
Actually, Mom's
go hard with marshmallows.
what she make the yams and you don't like those, huh?
No, I like them.
I like them.
It's just like there's certain places, you know, and it's not
Right,
like
I'm not saying
it's not like we eat candied
I'm
yams
not
any
saying
other
do
time
you
besides
go to-
Thanksgiving.
I'm not saying do you go to the fucking pantry and grab a marshmallow and just the large ones.
A lot of people do that shit.
It's pretty hilarious.
You know what I always wish marshmallows really worked like? Remember in The Simpsons when
when
he
it was
just
like
put
a
it with the
sponge
marshmallow into the fucking hot chocolate?
and he sliced it up. But in the show that was because he didn't have a soul. Remember?
That's not why that happened with the marshmallow.
It was the episode where he had no soul.
Yeah, but it had nothing. They weren't associated.
No, it was because after he sold his soul, nothing happened with soulful.
Yeah, but he did it like it's like something that happens every time he just popped it in there and dried it and started eating it.
No, he didn't do it intentionally. It just happened.
With the marshmallow?
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. You're wrong, Colonel Sanders.
I'm telling you right now, you are incorrect there, but that's fine.
All right. Well, either way, I just want to say the magic
not a
number
big surprise.
is 21. That is 2-1. That's
Can
gonna
you
be
do something for me?
That's gonna be after you counted to 19. You go to 20 and 21. Okay, that's 21 days. 21 of them until I'm out of this fucking city for 5 nights in Mexico, sitting on a beach, getting drunk, eating food. Give me my applause.
You get a very limited applause.
21.
Like we established
Can
last
you
week,
do something for
get
me?
as many claps as
Can
I-
you get
I
to
actually
20
care
days
about.
real quick for me?
Remember last week we established the amount of applause you get is, you know, commensurate to how much actually I care about it.
Since you're using words, I don't know. I'm gonna take it as a disrespect, and I'm gonna let you know right now.
It's just
I
equal
ain't
to,
fucking
you
with
know what I mean? equal to.
Okay, well, equal D's. 21, bitches. 20 motherfucking 1.
Well, we can use that number to bring
Next week, it's going to be 14. I can't wait to tell y'all about that one.
We can use that number of 21 to bring us into our first topic here.
21.
So, the WWE and the UFC merged.
Oh, would you look at that? That was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, they gotta tie things together.
All right,
you know,
well,
you get better at doing that as you go along, and you reach 176 episodes of Podden.
Nobody would know though.
Or showing. I don't know. Anyway, the WWE, formerly known as the WWF, back when it was actually good, and the UFC have merged to form like a super organization of sorts, right? So now they combine wrestling with martial arts. The only thing that's missing is boxing. One day I think they'll jump in there too. But it is now an organization worth $21.4 billion. That's where the 21 Association came.
I'm going to stop you. Before we even speak about any of the merger, we have to talk about Vince McMahon's mustache.
Well, Vince McMahon is now again running things.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know how that became a thing.
I don't know, but I also don't know how it's going to work since they merged.
More impressive.
Is Dana White going to be the face?
Don't care.
They're probably better off that way.
More impressive to me is his mustache. This thing.
It's not impressive.
No, it's impressive that he accepts that he's going to wear it. Like I often think about those old men who color in their mustaches and their beards.
We have an uncle who does.
I know, right? It's hilarious. He came up to me at Jonathan's daughter's wedding. Remember? And he was like,
No, I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there.
That's when my inability to breathe began.
Yeah. You were like, I can't do that.
I was like, I'm not going there because I can't breathe.
So we went to a wedding, right?
Breathe.
And our uncle, we were in the line at the bar, and he was like, he's like, I see some grays over there. I was like, yeah, where the fuck are yours? Like, where'd they go? You are way too old to tell me that your hair is like that. It's like youthful brown. Like, they don't even have like, somebody needs to create a Rogaine or whatever the fuck they use that is categorized as like old color, right? Because maybe if you're not gray, the hair starts to tinge off a little bit, if that's even the word. You know, it's just a little tapers off to a little bit of color. You know?
Now what you've been working at?
You know, like a little bit nicer of a color or a little lighter of a color. So it's like close to gray, but not gray. It's
Wait. Are you equating light colors to nice colors?
What you talking about?
You said it's a little nicer of a color. I mean, a little bit lighter of a color. And it sounds like you're just kind of convoluting the two a little bit, you know?
No, I'm telling you right now.
Conflating the issue.
So what I'm saying is, as an older man, maybe you're not gray, but you're
I just want to call you out for bullshit that's not really there because it's fun.
Yeah, I know. I see it. I see it. I'm
Well,
going to
there you
go
go.
over that and try not to let you do that shit at all.
Which reminds me, I forgot to, after we finished last week's episode and we were talking about how old you are and shit because you have a 20-year anniversary, I was like, man, I should have been calling him Gray Bush. Like, hey, did you get your first gray in your pubes yet, Gray Bush? Things that you're forgetting in the moment, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, so listen, you know, something about Vince McMahon is like, he's
It's like a pervy old man.
it's just
Which is true because
now,
he
is a little bit
It's like a legitimate
yeah.
thing.
But like, there's something. It's something off. It's something off. However, if you didn't see it, check out his stash. It's pretty funny. Let us know what you think about it in the comments, not about our feet. Back to the merger.
You're asking for the wrong thing because already we put like one sneaker video out where we changed the thing so they can see our feet. And then they're like, oh, yeah, your feet are there again.
Ken Kniff from Connecticut.
That's literally what I was.
Call him Kicks Kniff from Connecticut. Anyway.
Nasty bastard.
So talk about this merger.
Yeah, so that's all I really know about it is that the WWE and the UFC merged. They've created a conglomerate that's worth $21 billion. And
does this mean that we're going to see UFC fighters fighting WWE wrestlers?
Yeah, I don't really know how it's going to work.
The only one I think, like I don't see any. I'm sure there's technical wrestlers out there.
Are the UFC people gonna get out of the octagon and start going in the ring, square circle now? Is that
I think the best way that this can work is if you were to
gonna turn into Street
created a
Hadouken?
no, but if you create the same storyline drama that is present in a WWE special or even just like a Raw or what have you, that if you create that same spectacle in the UFC, like
Yeah, but the UFC is actually fights.
yeah, I
and
know,
it's better without
the spectacle allows for a larger draw, more ad dollars. I mean, I believe that there's probably, if you were to talk to these two companies, a bigger upside for, I don't know who's worth less. They're both very valuable companies with the $21 billion merger sum.
I assume that the UFC is worth less only because like the McMahon name and like the money behind McMahon and
Maybe just
WWF
based off
is-
longevity. I don't know.
And
But
I mean, they have a lot more pay per view. Well, I don't know if that's true anymore. Actually, UFC probably has more pay per view events.
Can you imagine, like, I don't know, John Jones running into the octagon with the microphone? Oh, you motherfuckers! Like, literally just riling up the crowd and then leaves without fighting. And then the next fight comes in and it's actual fight. Can you imagine if they follow the format of a WWE?
I just don't know how it's gonna work, man.
Look here, Daniel Cormier, or Corny, if you will. If you really want that title match, you come down to this ring at the end of this night.
And then
because right now we can't fight because there's one scheduled. But the way that we've kind of tapered our company into a wrestling thing, we have to talk like this.
I mean, it's kind of cool in a way because then they can actually like legitimately talk shit and then go and actually like fight it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't know.
I don't see. I guess only time will tell because obviously you're not going to merge the two leagues because it's not a fair fight unless you start to, what's the word? Script the fights,
Which I don't. You don't
which
wanna
takes
do that.
away from the integrity and what it is.
Are they
I
going to
don't
change
know.
the name?
I guess it just in terms of a battle.
Are they going to call it WFC now?
I guess because it's both they're both battle centric.
Maybe this
sports,
was a way for
you
them
know?
to say WWFC now, and they can like keep the WWF
Maybe
back.
they will do something,
Get
or
the
maybe
E
they'll
back out
keep
of
them separate entities within the within an umbrella.
Well, then how is it even? I just don't understand how the merger.
I guess because they're both battle centric sports, maybe it helps that. I don't know. I guess time will tell. But that's what we gotta do. We gotta wait.
Word. Well, in related news, WrestleMania took place this last week.
Yeah.
A week ago from today. Snoop Dogg was there.
Yeah.
And, he was like hosting or some shit, right?
Yeah.
So I think what happened is like Shane McMahon, who's also really old now.
Destroyed his knee.
Yeah, he got fucked up, and then Snoop was like, "No, you ain't doing that to my
quad
boy."
or something like that.
Yeah,
like he ripped something
in
bad.
his leg. I'm not the
Yeah.
specifics. I wasn't watching because I've never seen a WrestleMania live in my life. 'cause
Yeah, I mean, because we didn't have the money back then, and
Yeah, we weren't
then
about to do that shit.
we're not as interested.
I
as
still
we
ain't got
used
the
to
money today. You know?
be. Yeah,
So Snoop got
because
involved.
he was on the bus back then, and he on the bus right now.
I'm gonna back him up on that. So Snoop got in the ring, right? And Snoop 50 plus. So he was like, "No, you ain't gonna do that to my boy." And then so he did the people's elbow.
Yeah.
Brought back the old rock move.
Yeah, there was a few things missing.
Yeah.
He didn't have an armband, so he threw his sunglasses out into the crowd.
And he looked rather uncomfortable bouncing off the ropes. I'll say that.
I'll say that Snoop looks like he doesn't weigh much.
No, Snoop weighs about like 76 pounds, maybe.
Yeah, he's probably like 6'4".
Which is weird because if I was kicking it with Martha Stewart, man, I'd be eating good.
If I was kicking it with Martha Stewart, I might try to hit that. If I was Snoop, he's 50 something.
Snoop is like married though. And
Yeah,
like,
but he's close to her age. You telling me you don't think Snoop and Martha Stewart have had sex?
let me just tell you, he threw away his whole bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. He threw that away.
I'm asking you a question. Do you think that Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart have had coitus?
This is gonna just bring us to a nasty topic because I don't know that she can get the little wet happening. You know?
But Martha Stewart seemed like she kind of freaky.
Yeah, but
Did you see the video of her baking in just an apron?
Yeah, but like, I don't know that. I mean, listen, just because you're
Would
an
you?
older male at that point, no, not. I don't
You're
think
in a
so.
bar, right? Somehow, some way, for some reason, Martha Stewart's still in that same bar. Maybe she's behind the bar, guest bartending. I
Something
don't
got
know.
into Oprah. My seed, son.
So she starts giving you rhythm, right? And you're like, God damn, Martha Stewart seems like she wants to fuck me. would you have sex with Martha Stewart?
For me, right now in this particular spot that I'm in, I would say no. But if I was there,
I'm asking you to put yourself in the situation in which you might.
It's hard to do so. You know what I mean?
So you're telling me
because right now I
look
at her.
You've been look
right now. I look at her like a senior citizen.
What
like,
did Beyonce say?
She could very well die underneath me.
I've been drinking. I've been drinking.
Yeah, but Beyonce is. That's,
we're not asking you to think about Beyonce.
I'd rather
Martha Stewart. Okay, Martha Stewart whips up the illest drink you ever had, and out of nowhere pulls out like fresh biscuits. She's like
her biscuits.
Well, this is what I mean. Do you want them? That's the thing. She's like, these aren't the only biscuits you can have, and then she pulled out a picture of her biscuits.
We're talking about a woman like in her 70s. All right.
Okay.
So I don't think so. I'm gonna just say no.
You're gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no.
All the money she got.
I don't know how much money she got.
You're single. All the money she has.
It doesn't matter if I'm single.
She's ready to. She's like, listen.
If it's the right celebrity, I don't care what my
okay. What if it's not that night? What if she starts to? What if Martha Stewart starts texting you, trying to get at you and shit? Adam, I saw you the other night, and gotta be honest with you, your lack of style is stylish.
Whoa. Fuck what you're talking about. First of all, you straight? You cool? Calm down.
I'm asking you right now. Are you? So you're gonna say no to Martha Stewart? No, you ain't.
Yeah,
fucking.
I'm gonna say no to Martha Stewart. That's gonna be a hard pass. Maybe if she was like one of them old ladies that like she still had like a lot of ass. Like
we don't know what ass she got. She always behind the counter.
Like if she wanted to cook for me, I'd be down to like milk that relationship for all it's worth.
What if she had to
wanted
cook?
to get physical?
Oh, so what if she cooked for you, but she's like, before you eat,
if she was like,
you gotta eat these.
When she started being like, let's get physical, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm thinking,
all right. Well, I was just wondering,
would you smash Martha Stewart?
If I'm a single man and I'm in the bar and Martha Stewart starts.
Martha Stewart is not a bartender; she's a chef. Why would she be behind a bar?
Why would she be in the bar in general? I don't know.
Because she's kicking it with Snoop.
Maybe it's her bar. I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm in there, and then let's say I don't know. She's like, listen. She starts whispering sweet nothings.
I feel
in my
weird
ear.
sexualizing a 76-year-old woman.
What if she's like starts whispering sweet nothings in my ear? I'll buy you.
You remember?
You can live in my big mansion for free.
You remember in Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
And then he starts fucking the old lady.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, let me tell you about my STD from the Great Depression. I don't even want to have a thought near that.
Well, now that's not sexy to think about. No, of course not.
Well, what do you think?
Well, she's not gonna. Hopefully, she's not gonna.
She once gave Charlie Chaplin a hand job.
That's hilarious.
Now. Like
that's the guy with the
mustache. Was he silent?
I'm not saying I would, but I'm not saying I wouldn't either.
Maybe Martha like 20, 30 years ago.
I don't know.
I imagine like maybe.
But that's not the challenge. The challenge has
already been declined.
Okay. Anyway, Snoop was bouncing off those ropes, right?
Snoop was not bouncing off the ropes.
Snoop
touched the ropes and he like.
It looked like it was almost like those ropes weren't actual like elastic.
Like when
he bounced off a solid
when girls do squats and they use like a chair, so like as soon as their ass hits the chair, they like come back up.
They call those chair squats, and they're not only used by girls.
Well, I'm not watching dudes do squats. So anyway, it's also like it felt like that. Like as soon as his back touched the ropes, he just like kind of jumped back off them.
He knew that not to throw himself into him too hard because I don't think. It's funny. He didn't move. They had no budge. He did not displace the ropes at all.
I always wonder when you have a celebrity in the middle of them WWF rings.
He's got to be super light, man.
Yeah, the Miz was like, "What the fuck did you do?"
But he definitely. But I will give him this. He definitely delivered on the drop.
Yeah.
He let he couldn't bounce
put his whole back into it,
and he runs like he might literally have a whole leg, but he definitely he didn't kick the leg out like he was supposed to. The Rock kicks and then he. Bah!
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how limber.
The thing with Snoop also is that that like no matter where he's at and what he's doing, he's been smoking. Yeah. So he was high, Snoop, doing all that.
Yeah, he was probably really high. Like
that's probably why he didn't touch it.
He hit the shit out of the Miz twice. He stole on him. Like
that's what I was gonna say. I always wonder when you bring a celebrity who's not like a professional.
Do they hit you for real?
Do they know like how that all works?
Snoop, you hit me fucking hard. I'm sorry, nephew. Mr. SNWP is me.
I feel like you can't do a good Snoop, but like that's why I wouldn't try it. So go ahead, man.
I mean. What do you want from me, man? What do you want from me?
I mean, if you're going to try it,
Whatever. Anyway, what you got next?
the Masters, right? Like, I don't really care necessarily about the actual golf thing itself right now, even though Tiger's still out there doing his thing. I watched
I
a little
saw
bit
a
of a clip
video
yesterday.
today. They were like,
He still did like a good 25-foot putt the other day. I was like, hey, look at you go.
he is like somebody was like, he doesn't have to put himself through this anymore. Apparently, he is like limping through the course. It looks terrible. He needs to get off.
I mean, it's cool. He can still hit the ball. All you got to do is just get on the golf cart and let somebody take you.
You can't do golf carts in those tournaments.
He does golf carts.
I don't think you're able to do golf carts.
But he does.
And in the Masters, I think you have to walk.
Which is real stupid. You know how big damn golf course is? You want me to walk all the way? That's why it just takes 4 hours.
Part of the physical challenge, I guess you would call it, is that they have to be able to walk the course, I believe.
So they're in beautiful weather, walking on a very manicured grass.
But you also see, like, my point is, you see he's like wincing, like he's kind of like he's walking, kind of like you can see it's like a visible pain. At this point, it's like
when Happy Gilmore got hit by the car, and then he still tried to go and play.
Volkswagen,
and he lost the power to hit the long ball. You know?
I would have hoped that he probably would have stopped after he won the last one. When he won that last Masters, I think that was like probably the best thing he could have done.
It's like when we talk about any.
Was it which one is the Open or the Masters? I forget which one.
Probably an Open.
No, because he got the jacket. He got the jacket, eh?
Hey, that's my jacket.
That belongs to Mr. Gilmore.
You can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot. But no, it's like we talk about with any like master of their craft in sports, right? You don't want to let it go if you feel like you still got it. And again, it's not like he lost the ability to play. It's just the transporting himself from hole to hole. Pause. That part is like the difficult. It looks like, but I don't know. Whatever. Outside of that. The story here is and I have a screenshot of the prices. There's like a snack bar at the concessions, right, for the Masters, and it's just like mad cheap apparently. So let me see. They have sandwiches, breakfasts, beverages, snacks. The most expensive thing on the menu is white wine at $6. The cheapest thing, there's mad of them, $1.50. Egg salad, pimento, chips. The chips are the same price as like some of the sandwiches and shit. Like, it's just mad cheap to eat at the Masters.
It's cheap, you said?
Which is weird because you make mad money being a golfer. So, like, these fools got the money to go and, like, you know, spend an extra couple dollars.
Hey, all I know is any other sports venue you go and it costs a lot of money.
I think typically this is a regular story for the Masters, though, like them having a cheap concession stand menu.
I mean, it could be
all
Costco stuff.
I suppose so. I don't know, but I guess it's not like a huge story there. It's just everything is cheap for those who are trying to go. The beer and wine is the most expensive things on the menu, and to eat, it's just really dirt cheap. Chicken biscuit for $2.
Chicken biscuit?
Yep.
It's a biscuit made of chicken?
No, it's a biscuit with chicken.
It's kind
in the
of
middle,
misleading if you ask me.
Yeah. But yeah, so not a huge story there, but
21. I can't wait, dude.
I can tell.
I can't fucking wait.
Can't hardly wait.
Can't hardly wait. You know, we were. I was telling you that we were trying to book with Vivi's sister and her boyfriend.
So we're back to vacation talking.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
And we're just talking about like, So there was a miscommunication where they almost booked at the wrong hotel. You know, how do you decide? Like, okay, so for instance, when you buy something, everything is now rated, right? There's reviews. You can look and see what people think about it.
Yeah, Yelp.
How do you decide? Like
Yelp and Google reviews and all that.
Do you read those? Are you a reviewer yourself? Is another question I'd like to ask.
I've reviewed things that but I'm not like a reviewer.
Like, what have you reviewed? What prompted you to review that specific item?
Well, it's like anything, right? If I'm gonna go and buy an item and I'm checking reviews, I'm looking at the worst ones and the best ones because people only really review things. They only bother going out of their way if they really, really hate something or if they really like it.
It's probably true. Or like people.
Nobody in the middle ground does it.
Max
this was a 3.5 star. Nobody does.
Max used to Yelp review everything and became Yelp elite.
Well, yes, but there's like
If he wasn't
incentive
my
for that.
best friend, I would have made fun of him for it.
There's
Until I
incentive
heard
for it.
what happens. You get free parties, liquor included, like
They send you like,
all these like ritzy places and shit.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
well, see that's what I'm saying. There's incentive to do that.
Still kind of lame, but kind of cool.
There's incentive to do that, you know.
But I the funny thing is you read reviews and like you can always tell, like they'll be like 5-star, 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 5-star. 1. We went there and they didn't, and like it will be people's like stupidest fucking like reasons why. You know, everybody be like, the food was great.
Sometimes I read reviews specifically because I'm looking for like a certain like feedback on a certain thing, right? Like for the PlayStation 5, I was looking for there's like an external cooling system that they sell, and it's like a third party who makes it. And I was like, all
Does
right.
it still sound like it wants to take off when
No.
when the fan gets going?
No, not really.
I'd be like, I think my house is gonna blow up.
But I've been trying to be better. Like I have a electronic spray duster, and that really
Wait,
helps.
electronic spray duster, or it's for electronics?
It's for electronics.
Okay.
Yes. So,
All right, just
but it
wondering.
helps like keep the dust at bay, which is good. Obviously, when you're talking about the fan in there, you're not screwing up the functionality of it.
The dust at bay.
So I was looking at it. I was like, all right, well, okay, does this work well? Does it actually stop the system from overheating? Is it enormous? Like, can I keep it where my PlayStation's at right now and not have to like relocate everything based on the size? So if it's like particulars that I'm looking for in a review, I'll go and read through them a little bit to try to see if somebody has feedback on it, if they have like a picture posted of what it looks like in person. But that's it. I mean, I don't really typically care about other people's thoughts,
Okay. Do you
which is ironic because I need people to care about our thoughts for our pod.
when you go to the grocery store?
Correct.
Well, you don't go to the grocery store anymore, right?
I do.
When do
I
you,
largely prefer to go in than
Oh, okay,
order because online they charge you all kinds of premiums.
yeah, and they don't do the best job of picking.
No, they
I've
do
seen
a
those
shitty
I've
ass
seen
job
those
of picking.
motherfuckers running around trying to pick things. I'd be like, yo, you are on fast forward, and I believe you've picked dead fruit.
Well, and the thing
Like,
is too, like
completely
we've
dead.
done it and had them bring back expired shit, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's-
yo, man,
Like,
wrong
no,
with
it's
you?
not worth it. So
First of all, that store need to check themselves and get all their expired shit off the
better
shelf.
check
but, like,
themselves before they wreck themselves.
He is not going to be able to see very well, Cotton.
It's interesting strategy. Interesting strategy. So I don't know how it is out here as
Right.
much, but when I go to the grocery store, generally by my house, there's not many baggers. Matter of fact, generally there's no baggers.
Yeah, I will say I'm one of the people who is like I'd rather go to self checkout. So if my order
with how
if
many-
my order's small enough, then I'll go. to
Okay, that's
self-checkout.
fine. But at what point do you say it's their job to do this?
I mean, obviously, like if I'm going and doing like a full on shopping trip and dropping like $200, I'm letting them do it, you know. But if like the 90% of the grocery trips that I make, they're not that big, and I will go and opt for
See, we
self-checkout.
go and it's like a large. Vivi should be going to get groceries as we speak, but I'm gonna bet $1,000 right now
Vivian?
she hasn't. No, man, I went to the grocery store and I literally me and Vivi were waiting in line, and there's no bagger. So basically, the guy's scanning and sending them down the conveyor, but they're not doing anything with it. So it's like bunching up, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
like my bread and like.
Well, most of the time, like, well, first of all, as a customer, it is your prerogative on how you're gonna put everything on the belt. And I always have like the eggs and everything soft.
well, I mean,
last on the
yeah,
belt.
at some point it was
because
fine.
I know that people are stupid.
It was fine until he
And then
just started
usually-
throwing things down.
Well, usually the
He would-
cashier also just bags instead of having the
which
bagger
is
do
also annoying because you're bagging and scanning, which takes forever. So at some point I went and I was
Why
like,
I
all
opt
right,
for self-checkout.
I'm going to start bagging a couple of these things, right?
it. Plus, I know that I'm going to take the most care of my food. You know,
Yeah, but I don't care. It's not my job. So I started bagging a couple things and I got annoyed, right? So I look and there's these two bitches behind the
I meant that in a good way.
I didn't. I don't. They were behind this customer service desk, right? You know how they got that at like Mariano's. So I look and I'm like, she caught eyes with me, looked away, and then she caught him again. I said, "Is anybody bagging?"
She looking at you when I walk by. She turned her head. She wink her eye.
I was like, "Yo, is anybody bagging? Is anybody working?" She's like, "Oh, okay." So she came over here by the register and she starts to do the job that She's like, yeah, it's just, we're kind of shorthanded. I was like, yeah, it's just I don't work here.
Yeah. Also, you pay people like $7 an hour,
Right,
so
like,
that's why nobody wants to come.
I was like, I don't give a fuck. This is my job. I don't work here. I looked at Vivi and she's just like, because I'm like, yo, listen.
It's already mad expensive to buy groceries.
I'm not gonna buy. I was like, at this point, you basically should be giving me these for free. If I came to pick them, put them on the conveyor belt, the guy scanned them, and then from that point, I've done everything.
That's why places like Amazon are literally just making it. There's nobody who works here. You come in, you automatically charge it to your account, and you leave.
I've done the whole process. The guy, all he had to do was do, and he moved it again. He doesn't. The belt moves. He doesn't have to do anything.
See, all these companies are trying to do like what Aldi does without all the incentives, right?
Yeah.
Because Aldi, their prices are a lot lower than your average place. So you go there, you put a quarter in a fucking cart, and you have to put it back. That's the smartest thing they've ever done.
Yeah, they was.
The cart is the best thing.
Yeah.
So then you walk through, and they have like it all set up, kind of where you go up and down every aisle in order. You can kind of skip through if you don't need to in the backside or whatever, but. Then you obviously like try to find empty boxes, or you bring your own bag, or you can pay for like the paper bags they have there, and then you ring everything up, put it right back in your cart as they scan it, and then you have to go to the side and bag it all yourself.
Grocery stores are a good analogy for how societies run. So an Aldi is like what you would ideally hope that your government decides to do, run in a more objectively efficient way. We need things back. You probably need your quarter.
We don't want all these boxes, so you can take them and use them for your things.
Like all of these things, it's like wow, this is efficient. I mean, don't get me wrong, the lines be long and all that, but it's still not bad. Then you go to Mariano's,
and then they make you put your own cart back so if you want your quarter. And people are greedy, so they want their quarter back.
I want my quarter back.
It's hilarious.
Or you can make a hustle of just being like, yo, I'll put your cart back for a quarter, and as long as you let me keep your quarter.
It's like in the terminal. He figured out the cart system.
He figured out the cart system. He had mad money. He was getting all the fucking. He was getting a Whopper. Remember when he made after he couldn't get the Whopper anymore, he was making
the condiment.
the condiment saltine sandwiches.
Nasty as
I
hell.
felt so bad for him.
Yeah,
Terminal's a good fucking movie.
It was a bad time for him to have to deal with.
Yeah, but no, like the grocery store is an interesting place now, is because they've tried to run it on a skeleton crew, which is impossible when you still have the same amount of.
But let me just tell you something. It doesn't matter
in.
Because I worked in a grocery store for a long time, man.
It's worse than it was back then. It's worse than it was back then.
No. It's because they had employees like me back then. All right, I
but
was more efficient than any of their employees. That's why I did stocking part. I did cashiering. I did all the shits.
Even take that like
I even did
me out of
shipping
that
and receiving.
Sentence. You understand? You could take like me out of that sentence
because they had me specifically.
No. I'm telling you, the fact that they had employees was even a thing.
No, I'm telling you, in an average day, I did a job of 4 employees.
But you're stepping on the point.
We're all the hats.
The point is that there are no employees anymore.
No, there's no employees that have any sense anymore.
No, dude, there's none.
Like you go anywhere.
Dude, no. I guarantee there's less employees.
Anybody who's under the age of like 25 working in a place today has no sense at all.
Of course. But
so back then, you actually had people who used their mind and did things that made sense.
I'm telling you, there are less employees though. If you go to the front end of any grocery store nowadays, they got.
It's true because they have two.
One day we're gonna walk up and we're gonna be like, why are these registers here? Nobody even rings.
Typically,
it up
they have 2 registers actually open that are held by people, and the other sides are self checkouts.
I don't even see 2 anymore. Sometimes it's one.
I usually do my grocery shopping at Super Target. You know.
Well, Target's a different story because Target they got to ring you up other things and stuff like that.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But
same old thing.
But Mariano's or Jewel. You go there and it's like one cashier maybe, and then they depend on you to be the employee.
Yeah.
And they understand why do we have so much shrink? Because I ain't scanning this bitch. Like
so it's funny because when I back in the day when I was a grocery store employee, self checkout was like a relatively new thing, right? And they were thinking about getting rid of it because they were losing mad money because people weren't scanning everything.
I remember when self checkout
was just like, oh yeah, I'm not scanning this. Like, what the fuck?
I remember I worked at Home Depot when self checkout started to kind of become more of a thing. They had taken some registers away and made more self checkout. I remember that.
Like the money that they were saving on hourly employees, they were losing.
Yeah, they're losing in shrink.
Yeah.
If you don't know what shrink is, it's basically losing inventory to theft or damage in a grocery or retail setting.
Yeah.
Or actually, I think you can even call that probably in any other setting where they have like SKUs. stock keeping.
Any place that's retail associated. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough about grocery stores because I don't want to ever relive that part of my life. So we can move on to some basketball things. Regular season is about over at this point.
Yeah.
We are in the play-in tournament.
Mavs just got eliminated.
Yep.
Which is a significant point because of obviously the Kyrie Luka experiment that doesn't necessarily seem like it's working.
I don't think it's necessarily.
They're saying they're afraid Luka could request a trade in 24 if they don't significantly get better next season.
Which they can. I mean, the offseason helps teams gel. It's just how it is.
The problem is, do you think that Kyrie wants to be there?
He's a champion. I mean, you can't take that from him.
I don't want to hear that.
You can't take it from him. He's been on the championship rosters.
You can't. I get it. You can't take that
from
him.
And they can definitely pull things together in the offseason. It depends. Like, does he want to be there?
He's a champion, but he's also what? Disruptive.
Does he want to be in Dallas? Does he like the team that he's playing for? Does he like the coach?
I don't think
those
he
are
likes
those are things that are going to make a difference in whether or not he performs
right.
well.
But what I'm telling you is, I don't even think that he's disruptive in
Does
the
Luka
way
have
that
the
he
ability?
isn't a teammate. This is my point. I've been through this with Kyrie already. Right, not with him, but with you about him. Like, the thing about Kyrie is him as a teammate is so disruptive to the actual gelling of the team.
But that's how everything is painted. I don't think it's necessarily.
I don't know. I think it might be true
because you've had other people.
Look at what happened with the Nets. The one of the biggest failed experiments of a team in recent memory.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
I don't know how many games they played together, him and KD. But it was less than I think it was probably like 50 years.
Because there was a lot of shit happening.
Injuries.
Outside of that.
Well, that's my point.
Outside of basketball.
But that's my point. Regardless of what his views are or what your views on his views are, when the things he does doesn't make it easy for him or the team to gel with one another enough to the point where they become on the same page.
But I don't think his issues are necessarily revolving around like the locker room, right? Because you've had disruptive players in the locker room or people who other players
I don't mean the locker room. I don't mean the locker room.
That weren't able to contribute to a title. Where he was. So I can't necessarily look at him and be like, they don't have a chance.
I'm not saying his behavior in the locker room. I'm saying his behavior outside, whatever your views on it are, right? I'm not getting into that part. That translates into a locker room that isn't 100% cohesive. And if you don't necessarily, I don't expect every locker room to be a 100% cohesive place, but your arguably your two largest players on the team need to be on a level of like understanding with each other. And I'm not saying him and Luka aren't, but I will say that it doesn't seem like him, KD, James Harden, fucking Ben Simmons, who was shut down a couple weeks ago now. We didn't talk about that, but that's a guy who has no passion for the sport. It just
depends where you're at. I mean, listen, OKC had James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook on the same team. They had Serge Ibaka. They had whatever. Like all the team altogether should have won a title on paper. But things don't always translate.
They were very young.
Then they left.
They were very young. And
yeah, they were young, but they also made it to the finals. And
they should have. They should have.
Like MVPs at some point or another.
Harden left a few years before, though. Remember?
Well, that wasn't. Yeah, I think he got just traded out of there. But
that team in itself is a conundrum because they drafted their players. And
but you could say that about anything. Like I just really think if they really want to, if the camaraderie develops, which the offseason is a great chance for that to happen. Mid-season trades always kind of work out weird initially. I think that there's a chance for them to like come back next season, be a competitor, and actually do something. I do think, however, if they don't, that Luka might be like, all right, I'm out of here.
Mark Cuban's going to do everything he can in his power to not have that happen.
I think there's also something to be said for the fact that he's like a legacy in a way of like the European Dirk style player on Dallas, kind of following his footsteps. It's like obviously you can't really live up to Michael Jordan, but if you're a great guard and you're in Chicago and you're like looked at as one of the top players in the league, you want to like kind of live up to that. Like, hey man, I'm not Jordan, not gonna ever try to be, But now I get the chance to also like do something big in Chicago and follow my idol type of shit. So I think like there's that respect with Dirk as well in Dallas.
You might be right. He is snoring.
It's nothing compared to
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too caught up on Dallas themselves, but
yeah. But yeah, they're out.
yeah, I don't know who's gonna win this year. I really, it's one of those things where to me it's kind of up in the air still.
Well, so the Bulls are in a play-in tournament. I believe they're facing the Raptors. And then
If it's one thing I know is the winner of that game, no matter who it is,
they're playing the Bucks,
aren't going anywhere in the playoffs.
Yeah, because whoever wins is 8th seed. It's still a weird format to me. I don't know how much I like it still, but yeah, they play, and I think the playoffs begin on the 11th, which I think is the day that this comes out, Tuesday, right?
Hey, another yeah, but in basketball news or somewhat off Broadway, off NBA, I don't know, whatever. Laurie Markkinen, the former Bull, now Utah Jazz power forward. Dude, he is doing nicely. Anyway, he has a lot of countries have a requirement that you fulfill a certain amount of time served in their military, right? So Laurie, I don't know if you heard about this. The Finnish government has a requirement that you do it before 30. He hasn't done it yet. This offseason, they were eliminated from playoff contention. He's going to report directly to the Finnish army or government, and he's going to serve for, I guess, the offseason or however long. I don't know. The thing they didn't specify is how long he has to do it for.
Trying to kill his career over here, man.
But you have to. You have to do it. Yeah. I remember, when we were younger,
why? Back in the day, you can escape joining the U.S. Army by running away to Canada. Why can't you escape the Finnish Army by running away to the United States?
I mean, do you want to go back home? That's the thing.
You're rich here. Bring your family here.
He said that he's always wanted to do it. Like, it's always something he's wanted to get done. So he said that it's been a matter of when. And I guess right now he's doing really well. He's on an upward trajectory.
You could tell he was going to be when he was on the Bulls. Like he was young, but
that happens. Had promise. The Bulls do it so often that they lose players that later on become really great parts of teams.
I think the Bulls could have avoided being in a play-in tournament had they not had to deal with injuries early on.
Man, like what's his name? Lonzo.
Yeah,
that's an unfortunate thing because no matter what your view on him is, you don't want to see a player's career get cut short.
Yeah.
The way it's been getting cut. It's a Brandon Roy type of situation, but they say that it's even worse because there's nerve damage, and they said that he's going to have another surgery, and they anticipated hopefully being able to mend it and to work again, but
yeah.
There's no telling.
And Brandon Roy was another one of those sad situations.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, but anyway.
Yeah, so the Bulls, if they win, they'll be 8th seed against the Bucks, and it's not gonna be great for them. I think I have this thing pulled up. Yeah, so they play the Raptors, and then looks like the Heat are going to be playing the Hawks for the 7th seed, and that's obviously in the East. And then, so the Mavericks, you said, lost to OKC, right?
I don't think I said that.
Well, you said the Mavs lost, and they're supposed to be playing OKC for
no. Mavs they were eliminated mathematically eliminated. I think yesterday.
Well, it says right here, and it was updated today, that this is the play-in tournament, and if they win, then they will be 8th seed in the West.
Interesting, because I already read that they were eliminated.
And the Lakers are playing the Pelicans for the 7th seed. But yeah, so hopefully the Bulls can win, but they're not gonna succeed against the Bucks, which is always sad to say because why is Wisconsin better than us? Ugh.
Wisconsin,
yuck, And then on the other side of that, whoever wins from Heat and Hawks will go against Boston, and they're also going to lose. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, that's the basketball news, I guess. I watched a game like in a bar the other day for the first time. I was like, look at that, man! I'm out and about. And
Adam left
doing
the house
things.
for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, well, one of my coworkers is bidding farewell to the company, so we went and just had some drinks as like a holla back kid,
Like an adieu.
What?
I bid you adieu.
Well, he sounds like he said I do, and I don't. So.
No, it wasn't an I do. What do you think I am?
Saying adieu. But yeah, so I was out doing things this weekend, huh? Round of applause for that. Go me, We'll let that one ride out because that's how I feel about it.
So before we end up going, because we are nearing that time,
Right.
I had mentioned probably previously some point a few some months
vacation.
back. No.
Oh,
That I was watching The New Girl. Finished The New Girl because they were taking it off of Netflix. I think on the 9th is the last day.
New Girl, Zoe Deschanel.
Oh, that's actually today. So today's the last day it's on there.
Right.
So it's the Zoe Deschanel and
sitcom.
Yeah, I mean Damon Wayans Jr. was on it. But anyway, so I finished it finally the other day. And all right, so full disclosure, I don't start and finish a lot of new shows. Like I'm not one that likes to continue to do that.
Yeah.
I just feel like I hate binge watching shows. So it took a while to even finish this. Like the last season, it took me like, I think I took like a 3-month break, 4-month break. Anyway, I watched the last episode, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but it's essentially, they did it. It was going okay. It was going okay. They during the show, they get an eviction notice, right? Jess and
They
Nick.
got get rid of the loft.
Yeah, so they hadn't been noticing all the evictions. It was like 120, 90, 30, and whatever. So they're trying to come to terms with that. It was cool. Like they had like a nice little flash forward of, everybody with the kids playing. What's the game they play? Great America or something American?
Yeah.
But the drinking game they play, and they show True American. So like they show them playing it, in the future at one of the people's houses with the kids and everybody there still. It was cool. It was like, oh, that's a cool way. It was a little bit of sentimental things because the show to me at the end didn't get sentimental.
Yeah.
It didn't. They didn't do a good job of that.
Yeah.
And so basically what happens is they play True American and they the objective behind it is helping them get packed because they got to leave by the morning.
Right.
They pack, it's all in the truck. And then out of nowhere, Winston Bishop, he's like, they pull down the door on the U-Haul, and it's him going like this, and it says "Gotcha." And he's like, "Gotcha," and he basically told them that he pranked them. It was the biggest prank ever, and that he pranked them, saying that they didn't actually have to move. He pranked them to this, like that. They were like, everybody was looking at him like, "What the fuck?" Nick walks away,
So
screams like, "Well, it's done already. So let's get everybody in the truck. Let's go." And that was it.
Yeah.
That was the finale.
Elaborate prank,
The show was so good for it to end like that. It should have been a little bit more sentimental. I think that they tried to make it end not on a sad note, but it's the end of a show. You gotta there's gotta be a few of those moments.
A lot of those shows struggle to like close.
That's the thing, and that's what I hear. Like I said, I gave that disclaimer at the beginning.
That was like when Scrubs ended. I felt the same way, right?
I didn't see the end of Scrubs.
I didn't like how it ended, and then they brought back like a 9th season where they were like med school teachers.
Yeah, that was terrible too. Like they talk about how they don't even like to acknowledge that season.
Yeah, because Zach Braff wasn't even part of most of it. Like he's like the main character. He narrates the whole show as he's going around learning how to be a doctor, and then at the end he's not even in it. That doesn't make sense. So that's the same way I felt. Like it's just
the reason why I said in the beginning of that is that the reason why I said I don't normally finish is because
you have to finish.
There's a lot of finales I don't watch, right? Because I haven't started the show.
So what's like do you have a favorite finale of a show ever?
Oh man. For me, I'm gonna have to go back to older shows then.
Yeah.
Now I haven't seen.
I still put Fresh Prince up there.
There's a lot of the newer shows, right, that I haven't checked out. Like people talk about how like the Game of Thrones was terrible, but then they talk about how Ozarks was really good, and there's a few of these newer shows that everybody got really attached to that I never really took the time to check out.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to get into like what my favorite is, but I will say that this really didn't end.
I say that Fresh Prince is still high up there for me.
It's important that they
as far as like getting an emotional reaction out of you as the show ends.
And staying true, which is important, staying true to the character of the show.
Yeah, you got Carlton running down like, hey,
who turned out all the lights? No, I think like that's why I just don't feel like they stayed true to who the fabric of the show in the finale.
Yeah.
You know, there should have been more Schmidt, Nick, closure.
Yeah.
You know, there should have been maybe.
Well, I mean, the idea, I guess, wasn't necessarily for it to be closure because they still are friends.
Well, for the audience.
Yeah.
The audience is supposed to see this.
Do you think that they by doing that, they kind of close the door on like a reboot since they have everybody's life like they showed you, like everybody's still cool and have kids and, you know?
Yeah, I don't think a reboot comes. I don't think that's going to happen. Man, there was a show that just popped in my head that stayed true to theirs. Shit. Why can't I think of it now?
I was just watching an infomercial, and what's his name? Al Borland from Home Improvement was the guy who was like the narrator of the commercial essentially, and then they had somebody across the fence, Wilson, who was like, "Oh yeah," and it was like about like a inflatable hose or some shit like that. And I was like, "But you can't do that because you
mean
don't
like
have Tim Allen."
You mean like a sex balloon person, like an inflatable hoe?
No, like a hose, like for the garden.
That's got to be the name of this inflatable hose. Man, no, but it's important to stay true, right? For instance, like damn, it was just in my head. There's a specific show. Man, it's not popping up. But there's like, Boy Meets World. Remember when Boy Meets World ended, and Corey and Topanga were moving to New York, and they were saying their goodbyes to Sean.
Yeah.
And Topanga pulled his bag out and said, you know, I guess come on. And basically he's coming with them to New York. Right. Now, regardless of how you feel about it, that's the fabric of the show.
Yeah.
Right? One of the people
can't live without the other.
One of the people, all three of them, one of them are going to make the decision for the better of the group. And Corey can't go without Sean.
Yeah.
Topanga knows that. So she's going to put
their relationship not existing affects Corey and Topanga's
they probably have a worse relationship because he's worse. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So it's important you stay true to the fabric.
But see, that was a science that was lost, I think, because when you had like the after school specials type of sitcom like that back in the day, that's something like you went to school, you came home, you rushed so you can like watch it type of shit, 4:30, whatever it came on.
After obviously, school, what? Like what are you watching at 4:30?
Well, it's like, you know, it's the after school special. That's what they call it, the after school special. You know,
they all started at least 7:00.
Well, you're talking about TGI Friday or TGIF, like that's how
anything.
It was.
All prime times at 7:00.
There was like the
news, whatever the fuck the 2020 version of whatever they watch, and then it's time for.
That's only because when we didn't have cable.
Anyway, okay, regardless.
But yeah, so there was like a magic to it, right? Like you waited every week the new episode came out. You developed a relationship with the characters over a year's period, and like at the end, there was just like they took their time ending things, and they knew how to do it in a way that would get the crowd reaction. Because after you had an episode come out a week later, you still had like all of the ratings and all that shit, and then like I don't know, there was just a way about it. There was like a magic to it that doesn't exist today. Like there's too much instant gratification now, and you get the entire season, you binge all the way through it, and it's just like almost not worth the time of putting the show together.
It's important. No, I think it's important to savor it. That's why like Vivi ran through Grey's Anatomy in like a matter of months.
Just like 19 seasons.
Yeah, like I mean, I was like, you have to do the calculation on how much time you spent watching TV in the last 4 months because it's fucking obscene.
You better get to work twice as hard the next 4 months.
But there is an art to ending it, and I believe some get it, some don't. I think I don't know how you land on like I
He's
don't
like Lorne Michaels,
like I was
whatever that guy.
I was
He's like-
pretty I was pretty disappointed in it the other night, and Vivi saw it. I was like, they didn't end it right, on a prank.
It's the same way I felt about like How I
They
Met Your
ended it
Mother
on
when
a-
it ended.
I didn't watch How I Met Your. Well, I've seen some, but I haven't seen the ending. Same goes for Big Bang Theory. These are ones I want to see.
Yeah, there's certain shows that just they can't do it right. I don't know.
But
And it's hard because I think also part of it is like the fans don't want to let go of the show, so there's like a certain, that's how you did it. Like, come on.
well, yeah,
You
but
know?
I don't think that you should leave it on a like my beef with it is on that it's on a prank, and I guess it's part of the show, but at the same time, the ending shouldn't have ended on such a. That's what that is
It's just a super Winston type of
2
thing.
minutes earlier, they had them do the flashback, and then at the end of True American, there's you got to stand on things. They're all on the same box, and then they were like, "Are you ready?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." And then they could have ended it with them stepping down. That's it. That's a nice one. That's like they gave the full like, oh, they were all together for still years, and there's an art to ending it.
Yeah.
And I guess on that note, we do a really, 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 really good podcast segue into ending ours well.
Yeah, man.
They
Thank
don't
you all
fucking-
for tuning in to episode number 176. Yeah, man. We can end ours whatever way we want to because we'll just be back next week.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. You know what I mean? Hit the like button. Follow us everywhere.
Do us a favor and check out that the Kicks on the Ave.
Yeah, Kicks on the Ave, man. Coming up next.
Our new we're gonna film it next. It's not gonna.
Yeah. No, I determined that the way I'm gonna drop it is based on how, like the time that I dropped the last one. So it'll be
Okay.
Saturday at like 9:00.
All right, that's cool.
These are Tuesday at 7:15 a.m. Those are Saturday at like 9 a.m.
Sounds good. Well, check them out. We're gonna start doing them now. Kicks on the Ave. Gonna be a sneaker dedicated show. So check that out, guys. All
Yeah,
right?
man. Peace, then.
Peace.